Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be providing an update on Wesana Health. This is a company we've previously covered on the channel, but what's really exciting about today's video is we're actually going to be joined by the CEO himself, Daniel Carcillo, to talk about his company, answer some questions, and give us a better understanding of the business model at Wesana. Now before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below what you think about this company, if you enjoy these type of videos, and if you have any additional questions that we didn't get to in today's presentation. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, a special guest for us. We're joined in office here by none other than the CEO and founder of Wesana Health Holdings, Daniel Carcillo, to talk to us a little bit about his business and give us some more details on the company. So Dan, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Now for people who aren't familiar with your past history and the career you had prior to this company, can you talk to us a little bit about your history in the NHL as a professional athlete?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, it's the main reason that I've been on this 8-year journey now to recover my brain health and quality of life. And, I played 12 years professional hockey, 9 in the NHL. I fought 164 times, received 7 diagnosed concussions, and suffered from a lot of symptoms, which ultimately forced me into retirement in 2015 at the age of 30. Once I did retire, then like I said, my life's been dedicated to finding alternative treatments to recover my brain health and quality of life. There's over 6 million people in North America alone every year that suffer from similar symptoms from traumatic brain injury. So once I found recovery 3 years ago, was able to put that into the business and found Wesana, raise money and move forward a drug development pathway that I believe will be the first FDA-approved pharmaceutical for traumatic brain injury and the related symptoms.
Yeah, amazing. Super exciting story, and appreciate you sharing that. We're starting to hear a lot more athletes, specifically, whether it's NHL, NFL, come out with similar stories like this. Talk to us a little bit about the treatment you tried to get prior to joining or forming Wesana Health Holdings.
Yeah, so the traumatic brain injury, stroke rehabilitation, brain rehabilitation, whatever label you want to put on it, is worth over 150 billion. There's very specific reasons why that is, and it's because 40 to 50% of people that get diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury deal with lifetime symptoms. Okay. Those symptoms include anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, the number one cause of death being suicide after TBI, brain fog, brain fatigue, these sorts of things, and everybody's beholden to go into a clinic and essentially pay cash with no insurance reimbursement to manage these symptoms. And I was no different. I did functional neurology, went to the best neurologists in the world, concussion clinics, and did that for the better part of 5 years. Okay. Spent almost $500,000, and I had all the means in the world to try to find the treatment, and nothing worked. It worked until it didn't, or it worked for very short periods of time. And that's why I went to seek out this alternative treatment in psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, to recover my brain health and quality of life.
Fair enough. And I can imagine that's what really caused you to form this company. So switching gears a little bit now, thanks for bringing us up to speed there. Talk to us about the company itself, the company name, the business model, and kind of what differentiates or separates your company from some of the others in this space.
Yeah, so I've been a staunch mental health advocate, concussion advocate since I retired. Okay. Wesana essentially means, the first part is we, and sana is heal in Latin. And the concussion community is big, and we trade off different options of healing modalities. And so, we heal together. Mm-hmm. So that's where the name came from. And the business is derived from a focus on data-driven biotech company doing drug development through the proper regulatory pathways, like the FDA.
Okay.
And after I received this recovery, I was able to patent this novel and inventive way of healing through psilocybin and CBD, both high doses of psilocybin, which will be done in a clinic. And then we have something that differentiates us from every other company in the space. We have a low dose at-home self-administered portion to our protocol, which is a combination of psilocybin and CBD that does not make you hallucinate, and that will live on your counter, similar to any SSRI or antidepressant. And we recently, engaged the FDA, and they were very amenable to something like that. So it's an exciting time. We are well on our way after the IND meeting with our Farm Talks program. And along that way, we also, acquired a few clinics that this medicine, as we develop the novel therapies of tomorrow, will be delivered through. So there has to be a clinical network for the higher doses that people can go to and take this medicine and start their healing journey. So we're on the forefronts of both sides of that. And, we're really excited about 2023.
Yeah, awesome. And if I recall, we actually did a previous video on Wesana. So if you guys are watching, you missed that one, I would definitely encourage you to go in and take a look. We walked through the investor presentation and the business model in quite some detail. The clinics, so Daniel, those are in the Chicago area?
Yeah, so they're all in the Chicagoland area. And when we acquired them, they were about at 50% capacity. We were able to get them up to 90% capacity. That was the trigger to open up. We acquired two, and we are under construction with our third in Naperville, which will be the flagship facility, 3,000 square feet. And we're adding in things to the psychiatrist-led mental health clinical network that we're building, like TMS, obviously psychiatry, a lot of insurance, reimbursable services, as well as DBT, talk therapy, and it's also inclusive of FDA-approved ketamine.
Gotcha. And I think that's worth highlighting here. So these are revenue generating clinics, you guys. So not only are you bringing in money for the business, you've also got the R&D, the development side, whereas a lot of other companies in this space are just purely focused on the R&D. So that's definitely, in my opinion, one of the ways you've differentiated. Now, another cool thing about the company, I know there's some very notable shareholders or investors in Wesana. Tell us a little bit about that, Daniel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're excited to have somebody like Mike Tyson, who's a strategic investor and advisor to Wesana. I think that he saw the worth, and we really want to, with something as so heavily stigmatized like mental health and like psychedelic medicines per se, we want to be able to break through that stigmata using athletes to talk about it. So him, Juliana Pena is on board, and we've got a lot of notable backers, early investors in K2 and Adrian Moranti and Ambria Capital, Cody Chandra, Michael Sobek, Aaron Robb, and Soul Global. So these people have been instrumental in helping to not only raise awareness but provide the capital and business infrastructure necessary for us to succeed.
Totally. Yeah, a win-win. And switching gears a little bit now, I wanted to hear about some of the immediate or short-term growth catalysts, at least in your opinion, for the industry and for your company specifically.
Yeah, for sure. I think for the industry as a whole, everybody realizes that, we're not necessarily a psychedelic industry per se, in the sense that, we're going to get judged on drug development, just like any other biotech, no matter if these compounds are different. And some do make you hallucinate and connect, different brain hemispheres in a different way. This is a new form of medicine, albeit if you go through the FDA, we are biotech companies, and we'll get judged as such. So in that light, Wesana is laser focused on continuing and finishing our pharmacology and toxicology program, which is animal work. So for those that don't know, the first step is to communicate with the FDA, but the step before that is to get together what's called a briefing booklet. So we submitted a package, and you show the FDA what your intention is to from a clinical development standpoint to the actual molecule, and you show them the safety data surrounding things like psilocybin and CBD, and hopefully get fast tracked. And then they come back to you and say, this clinical plan looks good, or it doesn't look good. This pharmacology, toxicology program, which is more animal work that needs to be done before you can put it in human, they give you direction there.
Sure.
And then they either, if they don't believe in the program, add on or make your progress longer. Luckily for us, the FDA accelerated our program.
Okay.
And so, we're just working on that farm talks to then go back to them and open up an IND. It's an investigational new drug application.
Right.
Once you have an open IND with the FDA, then you're able to start your in-human clinical trial work. So that's the path that we're on, a lot of catalysts there. And obviously, opening up Naperville, Illinois, our third flagship clinic, May 1 is something that we are laser focused on as well.
Yeah, definitely. That one's coming up right away here. And the next one you talked about the FDA a little bit, so that's a perfect segue here. What do you think the general consensus is on psychedelics now? I know this is becoming more and more mainstream. I've covered a number of these companies on the channel, and I know the existing treatment models just really don't work, like you kind of alluded to. Do you think the FDA is starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, here?
Yeah, so, with our program, again, we have this self-administered at-home regimen, right? That's outside of a clinic, no supervision, because it's sub-perceptual, it's non-hallucinogenic, right? So we really wanted to, develop something that can help millions and millions of people. Our first indication was traumatic brain injury related major depressive disorder.
Yeah.
And they did a few things to us in this meeting. They actually pushed us into a TAM that is around 264 million people, which is major depressive disorder as a whole. And then usually after you get an IND clearance, you move into phase 1, which is healthy human beings. They accelerated our program to a 1B or a 2A, which is moving right into your population with the drug.
Gotcha.
So people that suffer from major depressive disorder. So they didn't add on 20 other studies to the Farm Talks program to slow that down. And so all of that being said, I believe that they're very amendable if you put the work in to, looking at, psilocybin and CBD as the new standard of care. I truly believe and know in my heart in the next 5 to 10 years, this will become the new standard of care as it relates to treating depression, anxiety, bipolar, and addiction.
Yeah, fair enough. I definitely would agree with you. And I'm just curious your thoughts on, in light of the pandemic situation here, how do you think that's affected the general population in terms of anxiety and depression specifically?
Yeah, I think, a common symptom of depression is isolation,
Yeah.
right? And when humans, I think we're meant to be in connection with each other. And when we're not, that can be tough, and I've always been an advocate, for creating a relationship with yourself just in case, you need to shut the lights down and you find yourself alone with your own thoughts. So meditation is a great tool to be able to create that relationship, and it's really helped me. So, if anybody out there is suffering and listening to this or watching this, I just encourage you to, breathe through it. And there's tools. Psilocybin's one tool. CBD's one tool. Cannabis can be a tool. Float tanks are a great tool. Meditation, breathing exercises are a great tool. Watching your diet, focusing on sleep. All of these things can lead to a better quality of life and ultimately, help you understand yourself more intimately so that you can alleviate that suffering yourself.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I really like about this business. We have a lot of penny stocks, small caps on the channel, but this is one that's actually transforming lives and helping people lead more productive lives. So not only is it a great investment opportunity, but it's also helping the world and general population, which you got to feel good about. So with that being said, Daniel, any final closing thoughts for the viewers, investors, and where can they find more information if they want to do some additional research on the company? Yeah,
so just closing thoughts. The the amount of people suffering is overwhelming, and we need these new alternative options. And the only way to develop them is to go through the proper regulatory approvals, because that is just a rigorous, scientific validation that the medicine that you're going to get on your counter, that it's reproducible, and it's safe, and it's efficacious for depression, anxiety, etc. So definitely the new standard of care, and people can learn more about that at wesanahealth.com, on LinkedIn, on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at Wesana Health. And they can also follow me, Daniel Carcillo 13 on Instagram. I'm pretty active. And yeah, I just encourage you guys to jump in and take a look at what we believe to be a very poignant way of serving the mental health community.
Yeah, makes sense. Excellent. Well, thanks so much. I'll leave a link to the website in the video description below, along with the ticker symbols, if you guys do want to go in and take a look. Last question for you, Daniel. Who's winning the cup this year, buddy?
Where are you based? Calgary?
Calgary.
Did you guys make the playoffs?
Flames are in, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see.
Maybe I'll keep you guys in my thoughts.
All right, great.
Well, saddled though.
Perfect. We appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you're still watching at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button before you leave. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. Let me know in the comments section below what you thought of the interview here, what you think about the company and the business model. I'd be super curious to hear. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.